the river. And it used to serve as a kind of a protective thought during the days where colonial powers would look to attack and take over the canyon. Lots of history about the Mawai River and the canyon, the last kingdom of Sri Lanka. Should couple of runs, so much more. Yeah, it's much more. Only slightly shorter. First boundary after 22 deliveries behind square brings up the 50 partnership between Nisanka and Mendes. Yeah, waiting for it and playing it late. Down behind point. Beautifully done. Use the pace of the ball as well. That was only 80. More the wind, really. after my life. I've got what, another couple of games. Not everybody who could have a ride in a vehicle like that. So our director can consider himself to be very privileged, not just to have a ride, but also to be driven. My stationer's wife with a laptop. Newly married. With an iPad in the apartment. I thought she's here to watch the cricket. He seemed to be working. Probably in numbers about my station. Maybe she's just going through the Sri Lankan cricket app. Checking out my stationer's average and strike rates and everything. Why not? Yeah, of course. Again, another very effective over for Muslim Base, 66 for 1.
Activator. This summer, leave your worries behind. Protect what matters to you. Simply Safe Phone Security. System staffed by the £200 with a professional monitoring plan. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Sri Lanka quite comfortable. After 14 overs, 6-6, losing an early wicket, making a good partnership between these two, Nisanka and Mendes. Bangladesh are struggling in the hand in the sense that the wicket has not really offered too much for either the pacers or the spinners. It's been tidy from Tanvir so far, eh?
It's been a good start made by the Sri Lankans, but some will question. The run rate achieved is 4.73. It's quite low. As long as these two players are up there at the middle, there's every possibility. And it's going to get better.
The contempt to just play the right ball. I think it's a question of not taking any risks, and that is being very evident from the approach of the two Sri Lankan batters.
Now, when a bowler picks up 5 wickets in the previous outing, then in the team meeting you discussed, we're not going to give him wickets. We're going to show him some respect. If he offers us something, then we are going to cash in. Otherwise, just try and milk the bowler. But that's what these two Sri Lankan batsmen are looking to do. Not to lose wicket against the left-arm spinner.
Look at the manner in which he just opens the pace at the last moment, very late into the shot. Chase on, good recovery. That's what you need. Bangladesh feel decently enough today. Now, up in the air, catch it is the call. Fielder coming and getting it. That's landed right to his lap. Tempted the batter, went for the sweep, got the top part of the bat and the second wicket down.
You know, whenever a batsman has looked to take a chance against the left-arm spinner, somehow he sends them back. That way has been very effective in this series so far. Once again, he's amongst wickets. And he has removed Nisanka, the set batsman. For 35, Sri Lanka 69 for 2. We should have left centuries ago.
It's okay. I'm with the AA.
Because the AA has more expert patrols in more places than anyone else, you'll be back on the road in no time. That's why millions of drivers choose the AA. Join today.
New Adarin coming to Mendes. Under the striking at the right time. 35.73 is average. Couple of 50s. Under the needed to break that partnership was looking quite threatening.
Yeah, it was not a case of bowling bouncing extra on that occasion for the bowler, but since the batter was looking at the ball all along the ground, the hands went low, hence resulting in that top edge. He's amongst wickets. He's a dangerous customer. Asking question. Did he get outside the off stump? That was the question the umpire asked himself.
And I think they're saying that maybe he got an inside edge onto the pad also. So the question of taking the review, not on impacting outside. Let's have a look at this. Maybe no bad, but definitely outside the line of off. Immediate shake of the head. But good bowling here by Tanvir Islam. Coming to going forward now, off stop there. Bit of a yes and no. Could have been trouble, sent back eventually. Ends the over, 69 for 2. Big match, the decider of this series. Sri Lanka winning the toss. Batting first, have lost the second wicket in the last over.
Yeah, he has to prove himself coming to Mendes. He's been prolific in test matches, but find himself out of place in shorter format. Has to change his mindset. He has to become more positive. In the previous over, there was good news for Bangladesh.
Indeed, and this was it. Try to sweep, to make just a little bit of extra bounce in the process. He got it on the upper part of the bat, and Pervez Hussain was not going to miss out on those simple takes. Massive wicket. Because it's hard work for the bowlers. Oscar Ahmed now does manage to beat the bat, coming from the other end for a second spell.
This is good captaincy from Andy as a Mirage. Bringing his premier bowler back into the attack, looking for another wicket, amplifying the pressure on Sri Lankan batters. This important time. Series decider.
That's so nice to see the crowds filling up the grassy banks here at Pallakal. Either side of the square, we've got the grassy banks. No, it's the ball straight away, and that is the pressure building again. 3 dot balls.
In ODI cricket is all about tempering batters. If you can string through dot deliveries, that ramps up the pressure, and then you force the batsman into taking life in their own hands.
Well, now he's struggling, and he keeps it. Taskin Ahmed has been very economic since 2023. has been by far the best amongst pacers in the world in ODI cricket.
Yeah, it's not all about flaunting pace as a fast bowler. You have to use it intelligently. He's come of age, that's for sure.
The current run rate 4.4 is going to build up that pressure on the Sri Lankans, particularly Kusal Mendes, who started off with the bang, now has clipped that away, but he's going to find the fielder just the signal. Runs being to manage his fit.
It's the 16th over.
Oh, didn't know very much about that. Inside edge. Trickles away. They get a fortunate single to finish an excellent over by Taskin Ahmed. 71 for 2. And also it's going to be time for that Prince interval you're talking about.
TNT Sports, powered by Canterbury. This weekend,
Who will run out victorious?
hold on tight.
We are go!
It's another doubleheader of bikes.
Oh my goodness, what drama!
MotoGP takes it to the limit at the Sachsenring in the Grand Prix of Germany.
This is racing as good as it gets.
12 superbikes will be burning up Donington Park.
The most epic championship. This could go down to the line. What a weekend!
It's all live on the new home of bikes, TNT Sports.
When they mean the world to you, having Pet Plan Pet Insurance can help you get them the best care. Save 10% when you sign up at petplan.co.uk.
Running a business means wearing many different hats. Whether you're protecting profit margins or organising events, there's always another job waiting. But when it's time to put your money hat on, there's one that suits you perfectly. Try the bank built especially for established businesses. You'll get your own dedicated relationship manager and no monthly fees. It's how business banking used to be, just better. Discover no-nonsense business banking with Amica Bank. The Harry's starter set. Get our trim and razor, shave gel and travel cover with 30% off and free delivery. Harry's. Feel good, fellas.
Should have left centuries ago.
It's okay. I'm with the AA.
Because the AA has more expert patrols in more places than anyone else, you'll be back on the road in no time. That's why millions of drivers choose the AA. Join today.
It's so exciting to see where we are now and knowing the history of where we've come from. They really questioned, should we even enter a team into the Premiership? We should withdraw. And I remember saying, absolutely not. I hope that you know how influential your inspired was to getting the game to where it is today.
What happened with that women's rugby final?
Reframe the game. Stream the full series now, only on Discovery Plus.
They haven't got going as yet. The players were able to quench their thirst. It's only the bowlers with the new ball that are able to quench your thirst.
Should be just to watch their wickets go. That's more like that. It'll be absolutely all right. That's the Hassan Saka wicket, an important one. The score 35 was looking threatening, but good work from Tanvir Islam. Made him cross the line. A little bit of extra bounce, got the tough part. No problem, Simon. Well, if you want to know all about the Sri Lankan cricket, we'll talk about that in a moment. The bowling has been pretty good. Tanvir has been a tad expensive, but he's got a wicket. Tanvir has once again been exemplary. Right, if you want to know all about the Sri Lankan cricket, download the SLC mobile app. That brings you team news, match schedules, live scores, players' actions, information on both international and domestic cricket, ticket purchasing for games, all information can be obtained via this app. So get on it and get all the news of Sri Lankan cricket.
Yeah, Sri Lankan Cricket Board keeping abreast of contemporary demands. Smartphones, you know? I will have to bring something smart and smarter. He needs to be smarter to survive in this format coming to Magnus. He really needs to establish himself.
Yeah, he needs to establish himself, but what he also needs to do first is ensure that he doesn't give any opportunities. And by that, I mean to get his concentration back. After any kind of break, we've noticed that there is some kind of lapse in the momentum, particularly built up by the batters. Kusal Mendes will have to be careful about that to get his focus back.
Well, it happens. At the moment, there is no momentum as far as Solomon is. But yes, he started off with boundaries, but after that, he's been shuttled. I've seen some good bowling from Bangladeshis. Bahama fielding on the fade through their bodies. Lying, I'd say many a runs.
And that's the support you need to give your bowlers. Just so uplifting. The spirit of a bowler when he sees a good piece of fielding and the effort given in the deep, that just works wonders. Now, step forward, initial thrust forward, then has to come back when the bowlers just drops it a tad short.
That's how you steal the quality spinners. Hills. And back up in front and maneuver the length.
And he gives the balls away, enticing the batter, nicely easing into that chop, into the deep, just for the single. I'm just wondering, Amir, when Media Samiraj, the skipper, might consider giving Ranveer Islam a bit of a rest into his 6th over, bowling exceedingly well, so the temptation will be there to keep him on maybe for another 1 or 2.
Yeah, there are plenty of options for the captain. Jimmy really bowled well, not you. Jimmy Patwari. Good usage of the field. Made the batsman gain on that occasion. That was an elegant stroke from Mindu Magnus.
It was indeed, and breaking the shackles. Haven't had a boundary for a while, and look at this lovely shimmy down the wicket. Gets to the pitch, nicely behind it. Didn't try to hit too hard. That's the placement. Perfectly done. So pleasing to the eye. That will lift Sri Lanka's spirit. Just need to build up a solid partnership. Bangladesh, on the other hand, look to get another one quick. Just putting it back ever so slightly in terms of length. Simple tuck away for another single. Yeah, Ranveer, I just suspect after seeing that boundary being hit and the manner in which they're negotiating him, might just be given a rest. Wait and see. Yes, and Miraj himself did so very well, as you mentioned, Ami. But the backup going to dry out the runs. And another single to finish off that over. 79 for 2.
The captain has turned off the fasten seatbelts. I feel free to go.
It's a very important announcement. Get 3% cash back on a category of your choice with PayPal.
Is that PayPal with a P?
2 P's. PayPal. Am I going to make my connection? You will, but your luggage won't. Anyway, I'll be up here.
Your trusted way to pay, now with 3% cash back all summer. Sign up in the app.
Oh, gosh, I'm sorry.
Check out PayPal.
Maybe lock the door, all right?
That's been that blue dot which has not really allowed Sri Lanka to travel smoothly. A couple of wickets down, 4.65. The bowling has been accurate. Short. That look at that feeling. We're talking about the support given. That was a hit-me ball. The fielder did very well.
And that can be confidence booster for the bowlers if they know they'll be supported by the fielders. When the ball an ordinary delivery, they can get their focus back and they can start bowling with a big heart.
Well, that kind of feeling helps Tuscan to maintain that best economy rate I was mentioning a short while earlier. How good he has been. When he doesn't take the wickets, he dries out the runs. Look at it. Since 1st January 2023, minimum of 150 over, Tuscan Ahmed leads the pack with 4.87, 46 wickets to boot. Got big names there, Matt Henry, Kagiso Rabara, Josh Hazelwood, Mohammad Siraj. But he is enjoying that economy spell.
Yeah, he's a luxury to have in your lineup. Not only economical, but threatening too. You have that ability, especially in shorter format. Leave the batsman quieter and send them back.
And he's bowling within himself. You can see 134, 131. Those are the speeds. He can generate pace, but he assesses the requirement of the wicket. The heat here, it's really muggy.
He got the smarts now.
Never has. Got to be smart. Once again, back of a length does not really allow the batter to either go forward or go deep into his crease. And with this kind of pace, it's not going to be easy to try and take him on. Containment here, done brilliantly by Tuscan Ahmed.
Now, in yesteryears, if you compare the speed of now and of yesteryears, he was not committed to every delivery. At times he used to go through the motions, but now he commits himself. Now where he is going to land the ball, to which batsman? He wasn't in control, looked like big inside edge, good enough to take the ball over the boundary line.
Well, some relief for the Sri Lankan supporters, but as you said, not the most convincing, was just inside part of the bat, but he put it away in an area where it was difficult for the fielders to get to it, and thus the boundary.
He's intending to hit the ball there.
No, not at all. Intending to hit it much more forward of square. Inside part, but lucky runs, and they'll take it Sri Lanka. Good comeback delivery to finish the over. 84 for 2. Bangladeshi bowlers have done well in the heat, restraining the Sri Lankan batters, and as anticipated, it's a change in the bowling. The skipper comes on. He bowled wonderfully well in the previous game. 111 wickets. That's to 4 for 25.
Yeah, he picked up a wicket in the last game after 5 matches. But he's been bowling very well consistently. The first delivery went into the gap. Once again, good fielding at the boundary line. It was Shabin Patwari.
It was 1 for 37 in the previous game, and that was loose bat to start off with. Chor was on it in a flash, but circled round. Again, bit of a dart for the second run. Eventually, the ball arrives. There's a good take. Once again, the fielding commitment shown by Bangladesh has been of high quality. That's the way to come back after you lose first ball.
That was clever bowling. The length was the same, trajectory was the same, but line slightly towards off stump and also angling the ball away from the right-hander. That's too easy.
Yes, too straight. It's a line he wants to avoid. Basically, need to bowl it outside the line of the off stump. Get it to turn in. Not that we've seen too much evidence of purchase of the wicket. Essentially, got to make sure the batter is not given the freedom to either come inside out or go onto the off stump and sweep the ball. And with the left-right combination, we'll have to just come around, change of angles. And it's an arm ball heading straight in. That might be a dilemma for the batters. Wondering when is it going to start dribbling? Into the 19th over? Ball hasn't really done anything off the track in terms of turn. Keeps on bowling them straight. Keeps on allowing the singles to be taken.
Allow batters to score more than 5 runs. Temporary ODI cricket. As a bowler, you're doing a fine job. All wide. Ball by the umpire.
Kusal Mendes, you're talking about the players trying out the runs, the bowlers. Last 25 balls for 26 now. Just the 14 runs. He started off with a bang. He's hitting the balls to all parts of the ground. Pressure must be building. It's to be seen how he rides that pressure out and absorbs that pressure. 90 for 2.
I've never sold before, I've never opened a shop before.
Johnny Vegas is living out his dream
This is just fun.
and going into the antiques trade.
Vintage Vegas is only for business. It's gorgeous. How much for the public?
Can he turn his lifelong passion
To grapple with a fairy under the table.
into a bona fide business? Brand new Johnny Vegas's Little Shop of Antiques starts tonight at 9 on Quest or stream on Discovery Plus.
Bangladeshi bowlers have not really allowed the Sri Lankan batters to take advantage. No big tall buildings so far. They'll be pretty content because it is a pitch which is a little bit tilted towards the batters. Eases into that one, but just quickly enough, an extra cover stops that ball from going through. Hasn't hit a boundary for quite a while now. Must be. Just inside, he must be brewing. I've got to go big. One of these deliveries.
Yeah, the bowler has to sense that. The frustration is creeping in. The mind of the batter. Do not try and overdo things. Keep it simple. Keep on landing the ball in the right areas. That was a gift. That was a gift. He was looking for that length and got that and was ready for it.
And the smile breaks out. The smile of relief of Salman is boundary after 27 balls that he's faced, but it was there to be. It was simple. It's pitched up right through the line, easy as they come.
Yeah, it was aforementioned. You don't have to over-try as a bowler. Just keep on landing the ball in the right areas, back of the length. That's very important. Increase the length. And Kusal Mendes is too good a batsman to miss out on those ones.
Nice comeback. It's just that little bit, just 6 inches shorter than the previous one. Does the job. There you see his touch shorter, gets him on the front foot, tries his best. Umpire takes defensive action, but they discover sensible cricket. You're talking about the change in the manner in which Pascal Ahmed bowls in the recent past. Maturity, understandably, and the realization that he's got to bowl within himself because of injury concerns.
Yeah, decrease in length, about 6 inches or increase makes a huge difference.
And that was shorter. That was there for the taking. Once again, not quite timing that to a nicety, but it was there to be hit. So a little tardy in this over from Pascal Ahmed.
And the idea was Marcus Key. He's been pitching the ball back of the lane. Batsmen were anticipating the ball there. Tried to surprise the batter with a bouncer, but did not rear up. And decided to ball round the stumps to the left-hander, Ski.
Ice creams and lots of water. That's what you need on a hot muggy day like this. Comes around. Keeps it quiet. Let this Commando on strike. Sea is soaking wet. Just a quiet, slow walk back to the top of the bowling ground, conserving energy.
And drenched in sweat. Ski. The tail shirt.
The grunt for a good delivery. 95 for 2. Is into his swings and rhythms. Such a lovely ground, the Pallakal International Stadium. In the distance, the hills, mountains around. The PA system blaring out the music.
It is just a number. Heart. Enjoy life.
Absolutely.
You do too. You like to team up in life, Jimmy.
Short. Now, this is going to go along the ground, the deep back to square, just for the single. Opportunity, I think, for the batter. Maybe play it a little squarer into the gap to take more runs.
It's surprising for me, batsman brought up on sun surfaces doesn't play that conventional swing. He does employ that slot swing to Kusal Mendes, but not the conventional one. That's a good one from Commando Mendes. 100 on the ball with that boundary.
Yeah, that was always going to be punished. Just short enough from Mirage, giving him ample opportunity to drop back. He's happy with that boundary. There you see just the shoulders of the leg, rocking back and placing it wide of the fielder. No chance there. Very nicely struck.
Yeah, but using his feet, he has created that fear in the minds of the bowler. Hence, they're looking to dart the ball in. The pace was up on that occasion. Better delivery. Slightly slower.
But Sri Lankans, what they've done very well, there have been periods of play when there have been dot balls piling up, but once in a while they've just released the pressure with boundaries. Not similar to the last one day when they got completely bogged down.
They don't think they're much of me. They're a hard task.
I'm just giving them credit, my friend. They're doing well. They just...
Well, there was a hint of complaint, which was spotted.
Once again. But the boundary has been there in the over, so they can afford to take it easy.
He has softened up, Shamim. Oh, close, given. Well-directed delivery, kept low, did get up to the batsman's liking, and he perishes.
Wow, that was a quick delivery. I don't think he's going to bother to take the review. The big strike. Bangladesh really doing well. He's not too happy, but exactly at 100, this is what happened. Kept on, kept it at low, played over, and it was pretty much in front. No problem for the umpire. Up went the credit finger, and Mirage gets that wicket. It's Kamindu Mendes who has to take the long walk back. 16 he's got, and Sri Lanka 100 for 3.
TNT Sports, powered by Canterbury.
At Mattress Man, we know we all sleep differently. You could say we really know our stuff. You tell us all about your sleep, and we guide you softly to the right mattress. Through top brands like Silent Night and Arthur, you find the right one in your pocket. We deliver it for free, and you try it for 60 nights. And now, with 15% off all our mattresses, trust Mattress Man to find your perfect sleep. Go to mattressman.co.uk.
TNT Sports, powered by Canterbury. Lively blow. That's what Bangladesh have been able to do this game. Sri Lanka is the new batter. Danit Lienage will follow him, and then it's Tunit Velalage. Got the right approach as an opposition. Good batting conditions. It'll stay like that right throughout the game, that's for sure. Therefore, you've got to keep attacking. This was quicker. Much quicker than the previous deliveries, and Kamindu Mendes is somewhat in different form in ODIs continue. Just not able to match the high standards and numbers that he's achieved in Test cricket. Mirage strikes. Fast bowlers from one end, the spin from the other. Tanzim Hassan Saqib picked up the wicket of Nishan Mandushka. He's back in for his second spell. Now this is the partnership that Bangladesh would want to break very quickly for race.
Just before I come to that, coming to Mendes after scoring the boundary in the second delivery, 3-dot deliveries and then the last ball wicket. I think this is the message to the players to come. Once you score a boundary, try and get a single, rotate the strike rather than getting bogged down in an end. That's where Mendes was getting everything. Gave it, comes coverage, up the greatest batting at number 4, missed a good opportunity. I think, answering your question, Russell, it says massive partnership. Former captain, Tariq Asalam, the present captain, these two players have been the mainstays in the ODI side. Sulman, when he's batting really well, Charlie, we all know what he can do on his day. I like to see this perspective. Try and get a slip field lane place. Open up the mid-wicket, get a slip or a gully. Get Santi Vasan shot to bowl that 4-post up line and try and attack him. Not straight, just outside your stump.
What are you doing? That's easy pickings. They've been good though. Just bowling in short spells and making it hard for the Sri Lankans. Just chipping away. That's what you can say that Bangladesh.
In 21.3 overs which Sri Lanka has batted so far, 75 dot deliveries. 12.3 overs of dot deliveries, and still Sri Lanka has managed to score at 4.74.
Oh yeah, this could be tight. Clumsy all round. Sri Lanka get the single they were looking for.
It was Kusal's call. Ball went to mid-on in front. It's as usually the striker's call. Charita Salak for some reason wasn't comfortable. The single said away no. Visible in the end. And the wicketkeeper Jagrali got into an awkward position. This is through, wasn't at first bounce, which Jagrali thought it's going to be.
Pitched on the edge of the turf. It skids off hard for Jagrali.
At the moment, find this Mirage attacking by Charita Salak with 5 in the offside, 4 in the leg side. Early on, Charita Salak against fast bowlers, can it be a bit vulnerable just outside the off stump? Probably missing a trick, especially in Pallakele pitch. Usually gives you as a fast bowler some awkward bounce on a good length, a moment, if it's available. That's those lines for me are too straight for a new batter. Under 3 for 3.
Hey, look at our Simply Safe home security system.
Let's install it. Please don't come on. What for? I got tools. What?
Now you've got a camera each.
Yay!
Systems start for under £200 when you buy a professional monitoring plan. There's no safe like Simply Safe. Kusal is on 48. Correction, 49. Lanka been dominant at home for quite a while, and that's why this game is a pressure match. You could feel the nerves with Bangladesh drawing themselves back into the series. Bangladesh have won only 3 games in Sri Lanka. In 26 games. Here in Pallakele, 2 previous games, 1 each. But in terms of series at home, the last 5 years, Sri Lanka have won 10 out of 12. The only loss being against India in 2021. Clever. That's playing the field really, really well.
Playing the field well, Charita Salaka. There was only field outside the circle in the leg side. That was deep square in front of square. Yeah, it was slightly risky straighter, but the ball was turning away. Yeah, it's a safe shot. Up at the Alfred Madas in the second ODI, almost a similar field. Charita Salaka against Mendias and Viraj at mid-on in the circle. Played with the ego of the batter. Usually Charita Salaka loves to go over mid-wicket, loves to go over long on. He was challenged in the previous game. India, he held out
to mid-on, and similarly today Medias and Mirage has got the mid-on in the circle. I think it's going to be Stusky Nam, tallest in the field. Horses for courses. I like the way Medias and Mirage thinks.
That's bouncing. Sri Lanka looking for that single. The ball, for me, it's holding just away with that bouncing. It's not on the slower side, but it's not one of those pitches that's skidding through. Tennis ball bounce, fair to say?
Yeah, Sanjeev Gamage will be out there for a concussion test on Charita Sri Lanka as this hits the arm and his throat or the visor. The last game we were talking about, and the Premadasa mid-on in the circle. Look at the delivery of Shami Hossain and straight to Tanvir Islam. Most teams against Charita Sri Lanka will likes it over mid-wicket, long on, have it behind, controlling the boundary. Not with Medias and Mirage. Similar field settings. Sanjeev Gamage will need a couple of tests. Should be okay. Wasn't that hard ball hit his grill or the throat? This is a big innings for Charita Sri Lanka. Being a captain, never lost Bangladesh at home a series.
Looking at Sri Lanka's approach in the previous two ODIs to this, slightly cautious, I would think. Waiting the loose balls. But what we wait for in Sri Lanka is these beautiful pictures in various parts of the island. 1 hour drive, you get to experience very different terrains. Sri Lanka's all right, we're good to go. Over number 11 to 40, only 4 fielders, a maximum of 4 allowed outside the circle, and Bangladesh have those 4. With a very fine square leg. Mid-wicket point on the boundary and long off. Nicely bowled by Mehdi. 108 for 3. Nothing too big, but pretty consistent, those towers. Tanzim for his second over this spell. That will be 50. Kusal Mendes. A very different knock to the previous day, previous game, where he got his 50 off 20 balls. Here, he takes 58 deliveries. That's quick as well. 7 fours. His 35th 50 in ODIs and his 6th against Bangladesh. But he's got to make sure he cannot throw it away like a couple of days ago.
Timely knock, responsible knock. Just the start. He knows the job is not done yet. That seeing the ball really well is important. That he partners Charita Sri Lanka. Started a little good. Good benefit. Should be a couple of runs here with the ricochet.
They'll get the extra run. Good bit of fielding. But it comes back to earth, and Chanto forces the umpire to have a look. You never know how close these can be. But there's no real excitement from the fielders square of the wicket. Bowlers, the fielders, they're all
run out review for run out at the batting end.
worked out it before the builder off. I'm ready to make my decision for the big screen. Now that was a pretty easy decision. No wonder, no excitement at all. Everyone's ready to go. The crowd building. Nice cool breeze. That will be good to have. Oh, beauty. That was a beauty. I think that jagged away ever so slightly.
Base in the field and mid-wicket. Enough movement to keep the bowler interested. Zipped away from the left-hander, squared him up. Beautiful length, good pace at 134.7 by Tanzim. Right throughout the series, the aggression is top-notch. Animal, both umpire is keeping a close eye on the proceedings.
Against the edge. Bowling well. He really is. I don't think they're watching the cricket. Zooming in on something else, I would think. Probably the hills.
I never had a moment when Lyndon Animal is in the house, is it? Tanzim Hassan shocking just on him. I think it's been very impressive because of the aggression this Bangladesh side needs in the mid-overs as well as in the depth he provides it. There's a good shot. Picks up the length pretty early. And a four-player like Kusal Mendes who picks up the length pretty early. That becomes almost a freebie when you have square leg behind square, no one in front of square.
Doesn't try to hit too hard. It's all about finding the gap. Wasn't easy because he got cramped for space as the ball was angled into him. But a timely boundary.
Yeah, picked up the length early. Spoke about his hawk package in the previous stint. Anything shot into his body, he just loves it, especially when he's in good form.
Eight off that over, 116 for 3. Wickets and accumulating runs. Kusal Mendes is leading the charge for the moment, giving Asalanka some time to play himself in. He's been brilliant, Asalanka, of late. Okay, a slight hold up. Medias Mirage will continue on the big wicket of Kusal Mendes.
From the word go, first ball, either way towards square leg, to the sixth step, he's so controlled. He's often hitting short or full. Top of his game, come length early, loving the pace of the pitch. His love story, batting at Palakale continues. Into the 25th over, that's the 5 bowlers used. That's the option of Shami Hussain, bowled well. The last game I thought it was ensure that the breaks were put in 9 overs, 1 for 22. The second ODI, so that's an option since the left hand is in the middle for Medias and Mirage to bring Shami Hussain maybe once Tanzim Hassan Shaki is finishing with this spell.
That is a wonderful shot. I think Mendes with the 3 in the deep on the leg side. Not much turn for Mania. Trying to give himself room. Trying to pick the gap on that offside. I think for the first time I saw a bit of grip there. You can look at shots like this all day long. Everything is Maha around here. The Mahabali River. The Mahayava. And then there's Maharu. Yeah, and Maharu. There is.
You forgot Mahanur, the real name.
That's outside the line. Good early call from Biggs again. It's not a problem in getting across.
Slight appeal in the non-striker's end. Ball hit Charita Salanga probably in his back or the back and hit the stumps. Yes, the bowler was appealing for the LBW. Feel that short, fine leg, threw the balls towards the non-striker. Hit Charita Salanga and somehow the ball ended up in the stumps. They see a lovely shot outside the line. Charita Salanga crossing for the swing. Hits him probably in the hamstring and ricochets to the stumps. How unlucky that would have been if it was run out.
Welling. 4 singles. Off the 25th over, Sri Lanka won 20 for 3. To come. That's Johnny Cleangaze. Fought really hard to try to get Sri Lanka over the line. The second ODI but fell short. Velalage, Hasaranga, Teekshana. 3 spinners, the main spinners in the Sri Lankan team. But the Chamira and Dasita Fernando. 2 seamers. Charita Salanga at the toss set 280. He'd like that score to defend. Mustafizur Rahman back for his second spell. A very good first spell. Your thoughts on that, Mark?
The ball well came round the wicket straight away to the right-handers. Patum and Kusal Mendes cut down the angle outside the off stump. Ball wicket to wicket on the back of the length. Use all experience Mustafiz. It's 2015. It comes to the most wicket by fast bowlers. Players from the subcontinent of the Asia in this top. Second is Jasprit Bumrah. 175 wickets for Mustafiz Rahman. Shows the dominance with the ball, especially in the depth as well as in the mid-lowers, holding those cutters into the pitch.
The thoughts on the score, Mahan?
I reckon 280. One of these players got to bat out till about the 45th over. There are a couple of things that Big Ben may do just to change things up if they feel things aren't going according to plan. Still to come, Janit Meena game, Lala game, as well as Vandu Vasaranga that came deep into the lineup of Sri Lanka. Janit Meena is a player who plays the finisher's role. It takes a little while to settle down. If these two batters bats through till about the next 10 overs, I don't mind just promoting Vandu Vasaranga, giving the license. Yes, he's not been super form, but maybe the thinking pattern, the aggression can be shown with a promotion to Vandu Vasaranga and keep Janit Meena play the finishers. That's an option, but if these two continues, I don't see anything to be changed. But certainly, they're thinking out of the box to get 280 on a pitch. This is very good for batting. Sometimes can work. The series decided.
Saranga beat up for the moment, staring at the sights around Pallekele. Since 2018 though, in ODIs at Pallekele, 9 times the team batting first has won. But on 7 occasions, 7 out of 9, defended a score above 290, 280, 250 plus, just the once, And only once has a team won scoring less than 150. If you're looking at history and looking at this pitch as well, you think Lanka need to get close to 300. That would all depend on how well this partnership goes. They probably need to turn things around, or turn things around the corner into the gaps and start picking up the pace. Wonderfully played by Mendes.
I thought that was a slow delivery tried by Mustafiz. Yes, 140.1 kilometers per hour. Confirmation. Rolled his wrist over it beautifully. Kusal Mendes. Back up the length for Kusal is when he's in form. That's almost like a freebie. Now, into the pitch. The at deep square leg is quite fine. And the fine leg fielder is quite square. So the gap wasn't that big. But still managed to bisect the gap perfectly. So,
Too good. 4 dot balls and back-to-back boundaries just spoils the over for Bangladesh. 128 for 3. We should have left centuries ago.
It's okay. I'm with the AA.
Because the AA has more expert patrols in more places than anyone else, you'll be back on the road in no time. That's why millions of drivers choose the AA. Join today.
Well, quietly picking up the pace of Sri Lanka. Don't feel it because that's how well they're batting, especially Kusal Mendes.
first boundary short, set up nicely. Put it away. Another a slow delivery. This occasion was 2-4. Always when it's 2-4, there's no place for the ball to grip to get the outside edge. It becomes a freebie. Still, the attack against Sri Lanka will be done in the second continues. It's beautifully done. In the turn, nice high elbow, most importantly, and the last milliseconds open the face of the belay, find the gap between extra cover and the mid-off.
No, I don't think he'll get that turned and bounced. They know how important this wicket is, and hence the discussion. Sri Lanka, under pressure, he scores lots of runs. He has, in fact. They're not asking, or rather asking for the review. That's Drayton's missing leg for me.
Early indication where Jakarali ends up as a wicket keeper. I thought Mendes and Miraj was quite convinced that probably hitting the leg stump, the wicket keeper had other ideas. And I think he's quite sensible not to go upstairs.
Lovely hit, lovely hit. He's toying with the deep square leg fielder who was moved very, very fine. But this time, he hits it hard and square.
Yeah, the short square leg fielder was almost to the fine leg area. Helped up to shout, pitching in line, impact in line. The bounce at Palakali Stadium is undoing for the bowler. The right next delivery. Yeah, it was straight. And Charita Sri Lanka made sure he met the ball at the right time and made sure he found the gap. Excellent shot. Not much risk. Definitely good result for Sri Lanka.
Good use of the feet. He's got the boundary. Now just keep rotating the strike.
Hey, excellent by Charita Sri Lanka. This is exactly where coming to Mendes got it wrong. Boundary, 3-dot deliveries, and the 4th delivery was dismissed. On the other hand, Charita Sri Lanka boundary, get a single. In turn from the last 2 deliveries of the previous over, 5 runs from this over, all of a sudden, 6 runs per over has been achieved.
Again, the run rate now creeping up towards that 5 mark, 247 at this rate. They'll have to go at 7, 8 and over, get to that 280, 290 mark. 133 for 3. This partnership, 33 of 36. It's quietly gathering momentum. Barbecue amongst the mountains. I really like the way Kusal Mendes uses his body to create his angles and creates very different areas to hit the ball. Sometimes he goes or takes the bat from down to up to hit it in the air. Now watch that back leg. It's all about transfer of weight and the base. Onto that front foot, then he drops the back leg and he's pretty much playing a sweep shot. Just creating opportunities for himself by the way he uses his feet, his weight. Hence, very difficult to bowl to. It's not all about the coaching manual, that front leg to the ball or deep in your crease.
Just to add one more thing, the head position was not shaking at all. So it's very steady. When it comes to making the impact, as well as on the initial movement, it was very steady. And players were going through a bad patch, going through a lean period. You'll see the head position right at the back or falling more to the offside. So Kusal Mendes has been batting well since the Test series. His head position was the key in that particular stroke.
Now we are not too far away from the 34th over. Playing conditions have changed. We have two balls that we use from either end. Oh, very clever. It was all about the angle and how Asalanka used it.
Yeah, nicely done by Charit Asalanka. Got enough bat. Pace on 131.8. Is helping on its way. Wide of the crease by Mustafiz. That's what he does against the left-handers. Against a high-quality player like Charit Asalanka on a good pitch in a fast outfield. Pay the price most of the time.
At the end of the 34th over, the fielding team get the option of picking one ball to continue till the 50th. So the equation changes a wee bit behind there because it's a softer ball to hit. There can be a bit more parent and hence reverse swing can come in later. So the projections that we're used to over the last few years can be slightly different.
Yeah, definitely. And also in the first two ODIs, the 4 innings, what we've seen with the visuals we have, the fielding captain opposite a ball is slightly newer than an older one. That's something that baffles me a bit. Playing in the subcontinent, you rather pick up the older ball, which helps you to bit of reverse swing for the fast bowlers. Not so easy for the spinners, not so hard. Once the ball makes impact in the bat, the traveling distance won't be much. It all depends on the surface as well. But in this sort of a surface, which has a bit of bounce and a bit of seam movement, as we saw with Tanzim Hassan, Shakib was bowling, won't be a bad option to choose a slightly newer ball. See whether something is on offer for the fast bowlers.
Where is Shamim? Just the 5 bowlers used. Shamim bowled so well. I think his contribution with the ball helped. Oh, there's Shamim. We're talking about oh yes, Shamim Hussain, but Bangladesh manage those middle overs. I'm a little surprised that he's not been introduced yet. That's the end of 28, 138 for 3. Well, there is a partnership for Sri Lanka to breathe a little bit easier because they lost 3 wickets in the score reaching 100, and that was what they planned after they won the toss and decided to bat. Kusal Mendis has carried on from where he left off in that last game. All Sri Lankans would be hoping that he can convert these starts into something big. Asalanka missed out in that second game, gradually finding his feet here, 19 of 22. The rate of under 5 runs and over. Miraj from round the wicket. The packed offside field. Good evening, Amit.
Good evening, or should I say good afternoon. It's close to 5. Yeah, you can say evening. Good evening to all. Yeah, Kusal Mendis, like you suggested, that he has to eke out more. If he goes on to score 100 here, that will really help the cause of Sri Lanka in this important time. And he's farming the gap. That's ominous for the Bangladeshi bowlers. When he gets going, Asalanka, very hard to stop him.
I'll tell you what, he's finding those gaps. He's in 4-4s already. And he's sweeping outside the off stump, the slot sweep. But very, very effective. Look at that look on his face. He's surprised as well because he was bowling wide of the off stump. The plan is to bowl wide of the off stump and get him to play on the offside. But to his credit, I think Asalanka is clever. He's opening up that leg side area.
Yeah, the way these Bangladeshi spinners are bowled in this series, as a matter, you need to be innovative to be able to score at your will. You're hoping for a bad delivery. You have to wait for eternity. You, as a batsman, need to up the ante. A forward trot, one should say, and then at the ball very early to be able to place it sort of square. And boundary has been spoiled after playing to top deliveries. Should have aimed for a single.
Yes, sometimes you see that it's the obvious thing. Where you score a boundary and then you want to start it with singles just to try and rotate the strike. But the bowler, if you look at this over, he's conceded a boundary, but poor North has come back very strongly. So Miraj will be pleased with his effort, despite conceding the boundary. And it finishes well. 5 dots, 142 for 3. And 29 overs completed, it's time for some drinks.
TNT Sports, powered by Canterbury. This weekend, we will run out victorious. Hold on tight. We are go. It's another doubleheader of bikes. Oh my goodness, what drama! MotoGP takes it to the limit at the Saxon Ring in the Grand Prix of Germany.
This is racing as good as it gets.
And 12 superbikes will be burning up Donington Park.
One of the most epic championships. This could go down to the line.
What a weekend!
It's all live on the new home of bikes, TNT Sports.
With the help of zero accounting software, I've got the right information at my fingertips. So now I can take my business anywhere. Search zero with an X!
Yep, that's my dad. You're probably wondering how he got here.
Hello, darling. Don't forget it's the bins on Tuesday.
Mum, wait, have you got air alert?
Air alert.
Yeah, it's an eSIM. This call will cost you a fortune.
It's okay. We are on the Wi-Fi.
Why are we not? What?
The Harry's starter set. Get our trim and razor, shave gel and travel cover with 30% off and free delivery. Harry's. Feel good, fellas.
We should have left centuries ago.
It's okay. I'm with the AA.
Because the AA has more expert patrols in more places than anyone else, you'll be back on the road in no time. That's why millions of drivers choose the AA. Join today.
.142 for 3. Kusal Mendis has been the better in form for Sri Lanka. 64 of 73. Is it 10 fours already?
He has held quite nicely. He started off in a promising way and he has carried on. He's the one who's been finding the boundary frequently. At times, he did not require a back delivery to score his runs. But needs to carry on. They've been disciplined. They haven't allowed Sri Lankan batters to run away with the game. They have made them work hard for their runs.
About cricketers like that, that's where they come from. School cricket. Lanka cricket has laid out an excellent platform that is to develop school cricket. But there are so many young cricketers that have come through this system. They've given plenty of support in terms of behavior and infrastructure. And lots of cricketers, they do play at under 13, 15, 17 and 19. So school cricket is so important in Sri Lanka, and I can tell you that every player in this side has been a product of that system. And many more coming through as well. It's the future of Sri Lankan cricket. Infrastructure, facilitating players, and that all is well for the future.
bunker. When first couple of deliveries force the bowler to change the line and also the pace. The rest was history. Held the ball on its way for another boundary in the over.
See, goes round the middle, looks to angle it. If you start outside the off-stump, black it back into the left hand, but you start straight, you're going to go down the leg side and it becomes easy picking. Not needs to be very accurate. You could see that. Look at that angle. From round the wicket, hit the ball, middle stump, it just angles down the leg side. 156 for 3.
With an NNA providing access to thousands of Shell EV chargers. Helping supply more than 20% of the UK's gas. Getting it from here to here. Investing in people and communities to build skills for the energy transition. Shell is helping power the UK. Now into the town.
Down the ground, 1 bound for 4.
Seems like he has warmed up now. Must have got a couple of boundaries in the previous over. And this was on the cards. He was about to jump out of the crease to the left armour. And did it quite well. Positivity in his footwork and authenticity. When the stroke making earned him another boundary.
Yep, 5 runs on the first 3. Sensible, very sensible. This is what you were talking about. Score boundary and then you look to try and add value to it with those signals rather than playing dots. Run has just made 1 dot, but they got 2 signals and a 4.
Swept it fine. What a fine result.
Well, it's that kind of a surface. You cannot be offline. You cannot this is outside the leg stump. And Kusal manages to control it because it was wide to the leg stump. Rather than going square, what he did well was he delayed the shot and played it wide in the gap. There was a short wide leg, but perfectly picked. Clever batting, 10 runs so far in the over.
Nice one. soil and irritating for the batters. Wasn't giving them everything free to them, but here he's leaking boundaries. Not good. Yeah, when you talk about Sri Lanka, I think it's easy for that. That's it is not good. One. There. Southerners, playing a big hand, leaving a lot of pressure on the other batsmen who are trying to establish themselves at this level. So, deal with this.
That's a very good rate that the Sri Lankans are scoring at. This is a good partnership between Sri Lanka and Mozambique.
They'll be busy. Sri Lanka and Mozambique. Tried out something more, a bit of innovation from the left-hander. The captain of Sri Lanka has mounted the pressure on Bangladeshi bowlers. They are faltering now. This is the time for them to cash in. These two batters.
Just waiting complete, but I was trying to see Sri Lanka had good chance going into the ball game over in this partnership continues. Well, at least one set batter going into the last 10 overs, which is critical. We're looking at maximizing those last 10 overs, going at 8 runs and over, making 9 runs and over. You need a set batter lead the way.
And that was the main reason why Sri Lanka was able to get 44 because Sri Lanka remained there till the end. For Sri Lanka side, in that first ODI, wasn't the case in the second one. It's got tumbling and Bangladesh is not able to square the ODI series.
Having said that, away rounds on the surface in Padikali lends itself much better. Ball is coming onto the bat and batting has been far easier. Conditions have been friendlier. Yes, and Premdasa. There were a few questions always asked the batters, but they never really looked in. At least the odd ball gets stuck in the spinners who give him a call to turn.
You're right, this is such a true bench. We haven't seen any more behaving on the surface for the fast bowlers or the spinners. Well, this is the last ODI played at Balakele, and after that, we'll have most popular format in subcontinent, T20, and Rio then.
Yeah, you play this game at first T20, Padikali, expect a big crowd, I'll tell you. Already there, I believe there is a fair production of tickets there. Then we go to the Rangiridamulu Stadium for one game. Then we return to Colombo to round off things. Yeah, the shortest format, the most popular, most sought after format in the modern game.
They love it. They do. They're not going to take a second ball for a shot. deliveries for South Mendes.
I don't think the fielder had a chance. Because once it hit that curve, it bounced so quickly. The fielder had his body behind it. Just look at that. No chance. Absolutely no chance. It was the angle and it just rushed.
Usually when you look at the ball, arms length, here, use that short arm jab and roll of the wrist. Again. The first one, backward of square. The other one, in front of square. He's turning it on to Sam Mendes. It's 182 for 3.
এই যাত্রা বেগ যাও কিসে করে
অনলাইন করো তো। দেবাশিস তার তো ফোনের নাম্বার